The clock on the wall ticked louder than usual, each second echoing through the small living room like a reminder of everything 38-year-old Daniel had been avoiding. He sat on the floor, with his back against the couch, hands clasped, eyes fixed on nothing. The room was dim, lit only by the faint glow of a streetlight slipping through the half-closed curtains. Outside, life moved on. Cars passing, dogs barking, people laughing in the distance. But inside him, everything felt painfully still. Daniel was the kind of man people described as strong, not because he was loud or confident, but because he carried weight quietly. He handled responsibility the way other people handled air, natural, invisible, expected. But even strong men break, and tonight felt like one of those nights. He had always been careful about making decisions, careful with money, careful with time, careful with dreams he never allowed himself to chase. But this morning, something shattered. The doctor's words still rang in his head. "Your stress levels are dangerously high, Daniel. You need to slow down. You need to take care of yourself." He had nodded, pretending to understand, pretending that he would change, pretending he would finally listen to the warnings. But deep down, he knew the truth. He didn't know how to slow down. He didn't know how to rest. He didn't know how to take care of himself when the world around him kept demanding more. He exhaled heavily and leaned his head back against the couch. It wasn't just the health scare. It was everything piling up at once. Work pressure, unfinished goals, the quiet loneliness he never admitted to, and the constant feeling that he was running the race he wasn't built for. He rubbed his face with both hands, feeling the exhaustion settle into his bones. Not just physical tiredness, but the kind of emotional fatigue that comes from years of being the responsible one, the fixer, the silent supporter, the man who never asked for anything. Daniel stood up slowly and walked toward the kitchen. The floor felt cold beneath his feet, grounding him more than comfort ever could. He poured himself a glass of water and stared at the counter. Bills, work files, old notebooks containing goals he wrote but never pursued. One notebook caught his eye, a worn-out black one with a faded corner. He opened it, flipping through pages he hadn't seen in years. Sketches of landscapes, half-written stories, plans for a hiking trip he always postponed. Dreams of opening a small cabin lodge near the mountains, a place he once imagined as home. He whispered, "I forgot I used to want things." Life had a way of making people forget. Forget who they were. Forget what they wanted. Forget what made them alive. Daniel took the notebook and walked to the old armchair near the window. He sat down, placed the notebook on his lap, and let the memories wash over him. He remembered being younger, full of fire, curiosity, restlessness. He wanted adventure. He wanted peace. He wanted a life that felt meaningful, not mechanical. Somewhere along the way, he traded all that for stability he never truly enjoyed. The notebook creaked as he closed it. He looked out the window at the street outside. A man about his age jogged past, earbuds in, breathing steadily. Another man walked his dog. A teenager rode his bike fast, laughing as the wind rushed past him. Everyone seemed to be living, while Daniel felt stuck in place. He took a deep breath. Maybe the doctor wasn't just giving him a warning. Maybe life was giving him a second chance. A chance to rethink. A chance to rebuild. A chance to choose himself for once. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees. He whispered to himself, "I can't keep living like this." And then something unexpected happened, a thought that felt both terrifying and freeing. What if I stopped waiting for the right time and start creating it? The idea settled into his chest, like a flame finally finding oxygen. He walked back to his desk, opened his laptop, and searched for cabins for sale near the mountains he once dreamed of visiting. Most were expensive, some were old, some were too far away. But one, a small wooden cabin near a quiet valley, felt right. It wasn't perfect, but neither was he. Maybe that was okay. He stared at the listing for a long time, a very long time. His heart beat a little faster. For the first time in years, he felt something other than fear, pressure, or duty. He felt possibility. He stood up and paced the room, running a hand through his hair. Could he really start over at 38? Was he being foolish? Was he running away from problems or running toward a life he deserved? He didn't know. He didn't have all the answers, and for once, he didn't need them. He sat down again and whispered, "I want to live again." The words shook him because they were true, because they were raw, because they came from a place he had buried for too long. He took a deep breath, clicked the contact button on the cabin listing, and sent a message. Not a commitment, not a decision, just a step. A small step toward a life he didn't want to regret missing. The night air drifted through the window, cool and soft. Daniel leaned back in his chair, feeling something unfamiliar but comforting. Hope. Not the loud, dramatic kind, but the quiet kind, the kind that whispers gently, "You still have time." And for the first time in years, Daniel believed it.